I'm back and I've checked and I have made some mistakes in the code.
enum arrow colon new line.
So in the enum arrow, down will be 125, up 126, left 123, and right 124. So I've made the changes here.
Enum arrow case down equals 125. Case up equals 126. Case left equals 123. Case right equals 124.
So these are the correct codes which map to those keys.
New line tab.
Now inside the enum, I'm going to create a variable called vector, and that is going to be a float2. Float2 meaning it's a tuple of two coordinates, and you can use any coordinate you want. So
var v
vector
vector colon
float2,
left brace tab
and this is a switch, so switch
space
self.
left brace tab.
Self, that means switch the case that has been chosen. So case
Case period image arrow down black
so down,
diagnostic error dash colon space
return
return
float
cap
2,
f left parent right parent left parent image arrow solve left parent.
and in the float2, what we want to do, so we have up and down, left and right. As you remember, x is across, y is vertical, and z is the depth. So forward is minus and back is positive. In this case, we want to go back because the arrow is down. On the x-axis, nothing changes.
0 space
And then on the z-axis, we're going to go back, but we're going to use a unit, which is 1. So 1 times anything will be set to that value.
1 right parent tab
So case
period
up,
cap p colon space r return cap f
2.
left parent
This one, it's going up, therefore we're going forward, and so we're minusing, going into the screen.
0 space dash
1.
right parent tab
Now case
period
left.
colon
This
space
time
cap f left parent
we're going minus on the x, and minus it's towards the left, which is correct. So minus
float to
1.
left parent 1 space 0
0.
right parent right 0 space 1 dash left parent 0 right parent
And finally,
case period
right
colon black space r return cap f
2.
left parent
And this time we go by a unit of 1 towards the right
space 0 right parent
in the z-axis.
right brace new line.
Okay. Now we've kind of set up the framework of your game controller for our actual game. Now we're going to start creating some properties inside the game controller.
Class game view space new line. Class game view left brace tab.
And one is going to be called direction. And this is a variable because it's not a constant object. We're going to keep changing it dynamically as we press the buttons. As we press the arrow keys.
Var
So direction.
Direction colon equals
And that's a
cap f
float2 object.
left
And we
parent
set
0
it as
space 0 right parent
for now because we're not moving.
tab.
Okay.
Save.
Now it's time to create a new object for our fly factory pattern. So some people like to put objects inside classes. I prefer to, again, really respect the MVC pattern. So I would have a file which is a model file. That's where all the data goes in. That's where all your SCN audio sources and their names will go in. So
Show project navigator
project navigator with command 1. And once I'm inside,
tutorial 2 group.
I'm going to create a new file with the contextual menu, VO Shift M,
Menu show new file ellipsis.
new file.
Press choose a template chooser in play unit test UI code source code UI unit play Swift file
So we'll choose Swift file,
out of template chooser. Next. Press finish.
and we're going to call it assets.
Selection replaced. Cap A. Assets.
So we know that this is where most of the asset files would go in. So all of your sound files and the structures that hold the sound files would go inside.
Cap A. Create.
So create.
Source
It
hub.
jumps me straight into that.
Row 1 expand. Row 2 expanded. Row 6 expand. / assets dot swift / new line. Import foundation. New line. Import foundation.
And now we're
Selected.
going to import scene kit.
Selection replaced.
Because we
Space.
need some of the
Cap S.
objects that come from that
Scene.
framework.
Scene kit. New line.
Now, we're going to create a variable that we're going to call steps. All right. So steps is we're going to take about 10 different audio files, and we're going to randomize the steps as you move along the world, so it just doesn't sound boring and repetitive. And all of these sounds will be contained inside an array, and the array is called steps.
New line. New line.
So var
Space.
steps
Steps. Equals.
and then so to create an array, you can put left bracket, right bracket, and inside of it you define what kind of object you will have. In our case, it's going to be the SCN audio source.
Left right bracket. Right bracket.
So SCN audio source.
Right bracket.
And if you want to initialize it, then it's as if initializing a method, so you have to create a left and right parent.
Left right parent. New line. New line.
Now, what we're going to do is, because in the game view controller, when we start it up, we want to start to load the assets. At that point, we're going to create a function. This is the first time. So the way it's defined, the signature is func.
Space.
For those of you who use Python, you would have def and then the name of the function. In my case, I would call
L.
it steps.
Load steps.
Yep. And then you have
Right parent.
left parent, right parent, and normally inside the parent you would have the arguments with first the name of the argument and colon and the data type of the argument. And at the end of the signature, you can usually return other objects with a dash greater than and then the type of the object, but in this case we don't need to.
Left brace. Tab. Right brace. New line. Func load steps. Left parent. Right parent. Left brace. New line.
Okay, at this point, we need to load some resources, but I'll type the function first and then afterwards load the resources. I have a bunch of files called wood, so wood underline and a number after it. So the way I'm going to load this is I'm going to iterate through a number I. So for I in
I in
1 up to 10.
1 in scroll area table 1 10 left brace tab.
The way it's written in Swift is pretty cool because you have 1 dot 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 10. The dot 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 notation is a mathematical notation where you say dot 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 up to something. So in this case for I in 1 up to 10, and so the variable I will change at each iteration to consequent numbers from 1 up to 10.
Right brace, new line, 4 I in 1, new line.
And now I'm going to create a source. So
Let
let
S.
source
equals cap S.
SCN audio source.
SCN audio source. Selection replaced. Cap S.
Source.
SCN audio source image. SCN audio source image. SCN audio source. Left parent file name colon string right parent.
So the name of the file.
Last number,
That's
T number,
gonna have
selection
to be a
deleted.
String.
Right parent.
If it is already in your assets folder in the project, which I haven't loaded yet. Now, there's a way of writing strings inside Swift is so you enclose it with quotations, but any kind of variable you might have, in my case, the variable I, is going to have to be enclosed in a backslash and parents. So I'll show you how it goes.
Space. Right parent. Colon space.
So as my files start with wood, so
Quote.
quotation wood, and then underline,
Wood. Underline.
and then I'll put the variable I, which is
Backslash. Left parent.
I,
Right parent. Quote.
And then finally, that is an MP3 file, so dot
Period.
MP3.
Quote. Right parent. Right brace. Left source equals SCN audio source. Left parent.
And make sure that you guarantee that the file actually exists, so you create an exclamation mark.
Exclaim. Tab.
This time, I'm going to tell that the source is not looped.
Source, period. Loops, equals F.
False.
New line. Tab.
And finally, I'm going to put this inside the array called steps. So steps
Steps, period.
and append.
Last number, T number, new element, selection replaced. At right, source, steps, dot, append, left parent, source, right parent.
Okay, so now I've iterated through the 10 different files from wood underline 1 up to wood underline 10, placed them all into the array, and at this point they're allocated into memory and they can be reused at any time. They don't have to be reloaded each time.
Right brace, right brace, right brace.
So this one pretty much does it for specifically this object. I could also add some other objects.
Slash, new line, import scene kit, new line, var steps equals, left bracket, new line.
And what I could do is also load up some other SCN files to create the atmosphere of the game. But what I'll do, just for briefness, is to put it inside the game controller.
Save, show project navigator,
So project nav command 1.
Gameview.swift, gameviewcontroller.swift,
So
Swift source.
controller.
Move focus to editor, source, space, var direction equals float to left parent 0. Is class gameview controller, var tab, new line.
So after the direction,
Tab. New line, new var direction, new line.
I'll create a node, which will be called the cricket node. So there goes our favorite cricket sound again. So
Let C
cricket
space equals cap S.
SCN node.
Left right parent. Right left parent, left parent, left parent, right parent, tab.
That goes in there, and a audio source for it.
Let C
Cricket
C
source
cricket source equals cap S.
SCN audio source.
Left parent image left parent SCN scene image left parent SCN scene renderer left SCN audio SLR's left parent selection replaced cap S.
Made a typo here.
SCN audio image SCN audio source image SCN audio source left parent coder colon and S image at last number T number string
File
number greater
name.
selection replaced file name colon crickets period quote right parent
So it'll be called crickets.mp3 and explicitly say I guarantee the file is there. So exclamation mark.
tab.
Okay, now we have this. Maybe we'll put something else, which is like just an overall atmosphere. So that means that will remain stereo, and wherever you move inside the world, the volume is going to be the same because it's an ambient sound.
New line let cricket source new line
So this time, let
M
ambient
space equals cap S.
SCN node again.
Left right parent tab.
Node, and let
A.
ambient source
U ambient source equals cap S.
SCN audio source.
E SCN audio source image SCN audio source image SCN audio source left parent coder colon and image last number T number
And
string
file
selection
name,
replaced
I'll
file
call
name
it,
colon
win
period.
MP3.
quote P quote right new line let
And explicitly say
Exclaim.
it's there.
tab